Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do something I've been meaning to do for quite a long time and just never got around to. This was supposed to be done sometime during December, but here it is almost the end of January and we're finally getting to it. This is my Carver TD-1700. It is my first 3-head cassette deck and we are going to be modifying this to sound better today. You may recall that this is a rebadged Aiwa AD-F880, and on its own, it is an exceptionally good recording machine. In fact, it's still, I think, about number 3 in my list of best recorders. Above even the Denon DR-M3, which, by the way, I recorded a vaporwave tape on the other day, and I gotta tell you, the Denon is an exceptional vaporwave machine. So, before we really get into this, since it's probably going to end up being a shorter video, because there's really not much to see on camera while I'm doing these modifications, I just wanted to introduce you to something that just came in that I promised I would show on camera. And that is that guy right there. Yes, folks, I am still going all in on fluoroscan units. And I just saw a box elder bug fly right past my face. Great! Anyhow, that is a Pioneer SX-3700 receiver. I was trying to find the 3800 and 3900 and I couldn't find it, and then I thought, well, the 3700 has a bit of a simpler power amplifier design, so maybe this one's the best idea for me to start with to get into receivers. I'm subscribed to Trevor's Bench now, and I've been watching a ton of his videos lately. And I watched the Tech Nights video on his 3800, and yeah, I think I could handle the 3800 and 3900, but it just seemed like this was a better idea for me. And eventually that is going to become the new test bench receiver. I'm going to build a pair of speakers to go with it, too, so hopefully that's coming later this year as well, but going to be a while before I can get to that thing because I want to buy every single electrolytic capacitor it needs before then. It's getting a full recap, so yeah. Another quick little update. If I can get the gimbal to cooperate. I'm about fixing to get the console stereo done. I got all the speakers right there. Cost me, I think, $250 for that, and then I bought a pair of tweeters over there. Those are for the new test bench speakers I'm going to be building. I've got a couple of old woofers I pulled out of some Edifier subwoofers. And yeah, that's going to be a fun project. All of the parts I need for this should be inside this little plastic bag here, or Ziploc bag. Now, what are these mods I speak of? And what does they does? Well, I've got the forum post here. I'm basically doing the ANT modifications on this. And, yeah, Alex from ANT came up with these. I didn't myself. He seems to be a really brilliant guy who is really accomplished at modifying these tape decks to sound better. And there are 2 tape decks I'm planning on doing this to in my collection. This is one of them, obviously. This is my proof of concept, as it were. And then the other one is the Technics RSB 755. So, yeah, I really want to bring the 755 up to at least this level of quality, because I've just heard things that they're not very good for recorders. And I want to make that thing a good recorder, because quartz lock direct drive, it has to be a good recorder if it's in this house. So let's go through these mods one at a time and we'll see what the deal is. Let me get the cover to this thing off first. Okay, let's see. How best can we see this? This is much simpler than the Excelia XK007. And yes, I've heard there are mods to the XK007 that could be done, but I have no interest in doing them. That machine's already too good of a recorder. I'm going to have a hard time topping it ever, so yeah, I'm just leaving that one alone. But let's just go through these now. Okay, IC12 replaced with OPA 2228 AP. I'm hoping he means PA because I couldn't find an AP, but that's this one down right in here. That's for the playback. And 100 nanofilm capacitor between pins 4 and 8. That's to keep the new chip from oscillating, because these newer chips a little bit different electrically than the old ones that are in here. So, okay. Next one is C111 113 pair replaced with 1 microfarad non-polarized and 112 114 with another. I've got those. I'm using Nikon Muse for that. And item 3, again, I've got Nikon Muse for those. And I've got the resistors here, are 605 and 606. Not exactly sure what they do in circuit. Let's see, what else? C103 and 109. I think that goes into the bias calibration circuit. So we'll see how those do. I do have those capacitors. I have everything on this list. IC7 is kind of a questionable part here. IC7 replaced with NJM 5532S. I had to get that off of eBay, and I got 5 of them. So I've got enough for both this deck and the Technics deck. They both need that chip, and that is this one right here. That's the recording amplifier right there. And then finally, let's see, 2 1N4148 diodes added, 1 in series with each of the base pins of Q601 and 602. Now this is a bit of a mystery to me. I'm not exactly sure why he's doing it that way. Let me see if I can show you here. Those 2 transistors are these 2 right here, and the base is supplied through, let's see if I can get something to point with, through this jumper here, and it's driven off the collector of this transistor. So I'm not sure why he wants me to do 2 diodes here, 1 for each transistor, when I could just put 1 diode in place of this jumper. But after looking up these parts and what their current ratings are, I'm thinking that's probably what he's thinking there. See, these 2, the collector current maximum is supposed to be 1 amp each, and the diodes only handle 2 amps maximum, so I'm thinking maybe that's what he's thinking there. Maybe do, yeah, just 1 diode each just to be safe. So I have no plans on questioning somebody who's obviously done this more often than I have. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I guess the thing I got to do now is try and get this board out of here somehow so I can work on it. And the transport really needs nothing anymore at this point. It's working as well as it's ever going to work. I never did do a pinch roller service on it, but I'm not going to do that either today, because I just want to see how these modifications do. And I do have some new capacitors for the power supply as well, so those are getting done as well. Anyhow, that's the plan. I'm going to try and implement these mods, and we'll see exactly what it does. It may need full realignment afterwards, but I'm probably not going to do that today because I've never done an alignment before, and that's likely to take enough time that I'm not sure I'd get this video ready for Saturday if I tried to do that. So we're just going to do the modifications. We'll do another record and play test on this machine, and then I guess that'll be all I can do for this for now. If it needs aligning later, I can just go back into it and do that, but this is more about seeing what the modifications do to the sound than anything else. And I've just got this printed out here just so I can keep track of all the parts I modify and where they are in circuit, because Aiwa, in their brilliance, has not labeled half of these components. So yeah, that's the deal. So let me get started on this, and I'll get back with you once I'm done. Well, I think I'm all done with this thing. I think. Not sure. I got everything done, at least, that was in the instructions over there, so I hope I got everything done right. As you can see, the new UPA or OPA 2228 AP is down in there, or PA or whatever. This chip is no longer being made, so if you want one of these, you have to hurry up and get one from DigiKey now, because last time I checked, they only had 19 left, and I bought 2 of those, which are in a order that's incoming right now. And as you can see here, I got these 2 Muse caps in. These are 1 microfarad at 50 volt, just like the old ones were. I managed to get the film cap in to go with the chip on top of the board. There's a capacitor that wasn't installed from the factory, and I was able to use one of those LANs, and I've got the other side connected to the other side of this green capacitor right here, and that does the trick there. Now down here, there are 4 capacitors that did not get exact exchanges. These 2 and these 2 are supposed to be 50 volts, 4.7 microfarad. However, when I was ordering the capacitors for this, I found out that not only had the 50 volt parts been discontinued, DigiKey was completely out of them. So I bought the 35 volt versions instead, and that's what I installed here. And that shouldn't matter because these are all in the signal path. We're not dealing with super high voltages here, at least we shouldn't be. So I do have these here to go in case those fail. And these are 50 volts, but they're obviously not audio grade. So I'm going to try the audio grade first and we'll see how it works. Now, Alex had me replacing all 4 of these with non-polarized parts. The original parts are polarized, and that shouldn't matter either because, again, they're in the signal path. So this IC has been replaced with the part Alex wanted me to do, or wants us to do. I haven't actually talked to him personally, but that's the way he has it. And I've got these capacitors in. They're a bit of a tight fit. And the coupling capacitor, or the bypass capacitor for this IC is underneath the board. That was the only place I could manage to fit it. It's right there. And I just used a couple of segments of wire insulation to insulate it from the rest of the components. Now, the diodes, that was the worst part. Let me show you. Right down in there. I think I got them in so that they don't short out, and they should be in correctly, but the only way to tell is to actually get the deck together and test it. These diodes are to ensure that these transistors turn off when they're supposed to turn off. This is to help keep them from distorting the signal. Hopefully everything's right. I'm not sure that everything's right. Again, the only way to find out for sure is to put it together and test it, so why don't we do that now? So it's back together and we're about to find out whether or not I broke one of my best recording tape decks. I'm a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. The home theater is powered up right now, but it's muted because if there's anything screwy that happens, I don't want any audio getting into my ears and maybe blowing speakers and blowing up the home theater receiver. Well, I guess it's no big deal if that happens because it's due to be replaced anyway, but whatever. Let me plug in. I did replace the 2 main filter caps up there, so those should be in right. Anyway, we'll find out pretty quick if they're not right. I'm recording this part of the video using just the microphones on the phone so you can hear in stereo. So let me plug the deck in. I can get my fingers on it. All right, let's see if we got power. Looks good so far. Okay, let me see here. We'll use the chewed up tape first. This was recorded on the Excelia. We're gonna know real quick if anything happened with the playback quality out of this unit because it's been significantly modified now. First off, I'm going to make sure the reel drive works. Bit slow, but it's moving the reels. And we've got audio. So let me unmute and we'll see what we get. I think there's more bottom end, which kind of tracks with the measurements I was seeing in that forum thread, or in some forum thread. I forget what I've seen in the past few days, but I know I've seen measurements from one of these decks after modification, and there's response extending down to 10 hertz or something crazy like that. So. Okay, I'm going to switch this tape out for the new demo tape because I want to try some of the YouTube audio tracks here. And this is Dolby C, if I remember right. Man, Dolby really isn't working that well on this. I seem to remember that from when I got it, but yeah, Dolby is not my friend with this one. I'll tell you what, it's working fine on the Excelia, which recorded this, but not so much this one. Yeah, there is a lot more low end, I'll tell you that right now. I'm really excited to see how this records now. We'll go to the other side one more time. I'm just going to leave Dolby off for now because yeah, I think I should probably recap the Dolby section on this thing. Fully recap it, not just do what I did to it. But I never really use this deck anymore anyway. So yeah, I think I'm really happy with this so far, but I'm not going to be thrilled until we actually do some recording with this machine now, which I'm about to do momentarily. Now, I think what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to run 3 tracks through this machine this time, instead of doing just the usual one and done. That way, if anything gets hit for a content ID, I can trim the affected section out and, you know, just keep the rest in there. So, the 3rd track I'm going to do on this machine, I think, is going to be pipe organ. There's a recording I have of the world's largest pipe organ in Atlantic City in Boardwalk Hall, and I have personally verified that that recording contains content down to 8 hertz. And I'm not joking. That organ is one of only 2 in the world that has a full-scale 64-foot stop. And let me tell you, the recording has that stop in it, and I have waterfalled it. It's there. It's definitely in there. It might be at a lower level than the rest of the audio in the recording, but yeah, we're going to see just what this can do for the low end. Maybe for the upper end too. I'm going to try to find a decent high-end track to run through this thing, but yeah, enough talking. Let me get to that and we'll see what happens. So now that we've heard it record and play, what are my thoughts about the A&T modifications, or Ant mods, or Alex mods, or whatever you want to call them? Well, you might recall me saying in previous videos that I was hoping that these modifications would bring this machine up to the Excelia XK007's level. And does it do that? Well, I gotta tell you right now, no, it doesn't quite do that. It gets it a heck of a lot closer, though. Before I did these modifications, I only had two machines that could routinely fool me into double checking to see whether I had the tape monitor on source or tape. And that was the Excelia and the TAC V900X in the other room. This one is now able to do that. It wasn't able to do it before. So, if you're asking me whether or not these modifications are worth doing, I say absolutely yes. Now, I don't know exactly how much information I got recorded because I had to use this guy to do my capture with this thing because it's got no external volume control like a lot of my other decks do, so no capture with the Steinberg was possible with this machine because the Steinberg is still broken, so yeah, I just hope this thing got all the quality in there. We'll find out for sure when I get this into editing, but yeah, I'm definitely thinking those mods were worth doing. For like $50 in parts, this thing just went up to a whole other level. So it's ready to take over should the top two machines in my collection go belly up for some reason. But yeah, as it is, this is still my number 3 machine, but it's closer to number 2 than it used to be, that's for sure. It's pulled way ahead of the Denon now, unfortunately. I wish the Denon was in better shape, but it is what it is. Anyhow, I am excited to report to you that, before we go, that my 2024 import from Japan is now finalized and it's on the boat heading this way. I don't know when it'll get here because it's probably going to take 2 or 3 months to get here, again, like it did last year for the Excelia. But I'm real excited to get it. I haven't had too much luck with the Japanese auctions in 2024 yet because everybody's crazy over there apparently. Man, you guys should try bidding on something that's got Dolby S over there. They're just nuts about Dolby S over in Japan, I guess. But yeah, I finally got myself something. Cost me, about $385 to buy and $100 and something to ship. So, yeah, with that $100 and something worth of shipping it costs to get this machine from Japan, I'm convinced now it's no longer worth me doing business in the United States for any 3-head machines because, quite honestly, every other machine I look at on eBay from the US now has $150 to $200 to $250 or even more dollars worth of shipping on it. And I'll tell you right now, this one I got coming in now for $106 or whatever it cost me. Yeah, it doesn't make sense for me to go to the United States anymore. So, yeah, probably going to do a lot more importing from Japan. We'll see how things go. I tried to get an XK009 this week. Tried being the key word here. That machine up there, the Excelia XK007, that one cost me $205 to buy and $200 something to ship. The one I tried to buy, the XK009, this week, well, my bid was $435. And by the time the auction was over, because Yahoo Auctions Japan kept extending the time remaining on the auction, it ended up going for $430 something. No, that's the wrong number. Brain, you're confused again. Stop being confused. It went for $735. So yeah, I guess now I know what it takes to buy a good condition XK009 over there. I'm going to have to come with a bigger budget next time, but yeah, the one I got, I'm real excited about. It is closed loop, dual capstan, quartz lock, and top of the line. And it's a brand I've never had on the channel before, so I'm excited to see it. It's a brand I've never even serviced before. Come to think of it, I've only ever owned one component from that brand before, so real excited to get it. But yeah, I'm hoping the gears come in for the Technics deck real soon, because I need to get going on that. And as part of that service, I'm going to do the ANT mods on the Technics deck while I'm doing that video. So sadly, there will not be a before example of how that deck records, just an after, because it's been taking too long for me to get my parts for that deck. I'm just going to have to go wall to wall with it, get everything done in one video, and that'll be that. But I'm excited to see what the ANT mods do for that deck now, especially now that I've heard what they do for this one. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. See you next time. So long. Take care.